Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Network for another video here. I am Corey Derrick, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Destiny 2, the final shape. I've been playing it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks as of this recording. 2 weeks now? Man, it's been out for 2 weeks already. Dang, time flies. And I just wanted to kind of go over kind of how I feel now that it's been out and I've had some time to digest everything. And my review is out, which, if you want to read it, that'll be linked in the show notes below. And just kind of give some thoughts and more feedback on it, because the game is continuing to grow and continuing to evolve, and it's an exciting time to be Destiny fan. So before I get into that, just want to say, listen to the Boss Rush podcast, and you can listen to Tower Casuals, which is my Destiny podcast. You can hear my thoughts on both of those podcasts. Really appreciate it, and read my review if you so choose. So for those who haven't been listening to either of those podcasts and you just kind of wandered in on this video, I've been playing Destiny since the beginning. I've been playing since alpha. I just found my alpha invite email the other day as a piece of nostalgia. And, I've even been following the game since before then. I mean, it was teased in Halo 3 ODST. And then, on stage at E3 that year, and they were playing it and all this stuff, right? I mean, you can look up all those videos. Destiny means a lot to me because I love the game and I love Bungie and all that stuff, but also like Bungie or Destiny kickstarted my content creation career, I guess you want to call it. It means a lot to me. It's instrumental in how I have grown to become a podcaster and a creator, and honestly, that and the YouTube channel got me my job and where I work now, and I'm incredibly grateful, and I kind of attribute all that to Destiny. So it's meant a lot. And going into the final shape, two things I should say. I am a Bungie creator, and Bungie did provide me the code and the annual pass. So take that how you will as I approach how I talk about this. But I have been pretty clear about how bad Destiny has been sometimes. So, um, you know, I always want to be open and honest and tell you that I got that free. And I will continue to be working with Bungie to do other things. Just got an email saying that they want to use our review for marketing purposes, and I said go ahead. So anyways, the final shape is here, right? Campaign was really 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 good. I had to go back and play it, at least the first half of it, a second time, because servers were really bad that first and second day. I don't know if you guys know that. Servers were bad. I got kicked multiple times, and I actually missed 3 cutscenes, pretty important ones, actually. So going back and playing the first half of the campaign with those cutscenes actually made it even better. I already thought it was great, but it was super impactful. Uh, I wish they would have kept the Cade stuff a secret, because I think it would have been incredibly impactful, at least up until the point where, the final mission of Season of the Wish, uh, that cutscene you get after you fight through the Black Garden. Um, but the final shape is incredible. I think it's the best. It's definitely the best Destiny expansion they've ever done. The Pale Heart is the best space they've ever created. I would go so far as to say the campaign, with a caveat here, okay? The campaign is the best campaign they've ever made. Bungie has ever made, not just for Destiny, but if you can include Marathon, you can include Halo, you can include everything else they've done. Oni, I guess, if you want to include that Bungie PS2 classic published by Rockstar. I think a lot of people kind of forget that Oni exists, and I think Bungie wants to kind of forget that Oni exists sometimes. Uh, but we were I'm telling you, we were all worried about the final shape going into this after the fiasco that was Lightfall and how mediocre it was, and the seasons just didn't hit the same way that they did during the Witch Queen, and it was just everything got delayed. Right, the final shape got delayed from February to June, and then they announced they were going to drop some free content, and I was like, what do you do, what's going on? And then the layoff and the fiasco that went on, and the Sony stuff, and it's just there's there's a bunch of things going on over there that nobody really understands or knows, and it's like, what's going on here? And then when they dropped Into the Light, that was a pretty great chunk of content. The it was really good. I love horde modes. I love horde. I'm a huge Gears guy, so seeing a horde mode being dropped in there was awesome. Seeing Pantheon take off in a way that was very positive for longtime players was awesome. I wish I had the time to sit down and do it. I did not get to do much of it at all. I didn't complete any of it, but it's a cool idea that I hope they bring back. Excuse me. And going into the final shape, I was worried, very very worried. And I think Bungie knew that this had to be the not only Witch Queen levels, Forsaken levels, Taken King levels of quality, but it had to be better and it had to exceed it in every way. And like I said in my review, they did it. They did it in every way possible. The way the loot works, the way the world works, the single player instance of the Pale Heart, um, the mission structure, the way they managed to focus on individual stories while also focusing on the greater narrative of this epic climactic conclusion to fight the witness and take it out or whatever, right? Like, it's like they did an incredible job, and the raid looks awesome. I haven't run the raid yet. I'm planning on running it soon, actually. um I haven't gotten to it because of time, and trying to enjoy myself and pace myself in Destiny for the first time, maybe ever. When an expansion comes out, you play and you play and you play and you play and you play, and then you kind of burn yourself out. Uh, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm missing these other games. And as somebody who runs a podcast where we talk about video games, not just game, um, and I already have a Destiny podcast, I know people are really tired of hearing me talk about Destiny on the podcast. So trying to fit in other games, um, that's I'm just trying to pace myself and go through all the quest lines and get the exotics and do all that stuff and then go through the raid. uh, but I really loved it. I love the way that they focused on the Vanguard. I love Cade and Crow's relationship. I love how personal they got with Ghost. Ghost is I mean, Ghost has been there since before you were, right? I mean, you see Ghost flying through and wake you up. Ghost is the first character you meet, and Ghost is there from the beginning. Ghost is there at the end, and I am going to go into some spoilers starting now to the story. So if you want to dip out now, go ahead. This is your final warning. Major spoilers incoming. Um, so when you get into the Pale Heart and you find Prismatic, uh, and then you make your way to the old tower, and you just start experiencing this awesome, awesome, awesome campaign. When you walk out and Cade's there playing the harmonica and throws it at you, um, that's a moment I wish could have been a huge surprise. That would have been a Witch Queen level surprise if they could have pulled that off. But like I said, due to everything that was going on with Bungie last year, I know that they had to kind of get people excited. And when they kind of go through and explain why Cade is back, you know, uh, Riven disguising herself as Queen Mara to con a wish out of Crow, kind of Crow wanting Cade, wishing he could tell Cade that he was sorry, uh, even though he doesn't remember. Right, like it's like a that was a interesting moment, which I think we kind of knew that it was tied to the wish somehow, but when they kind of go through and it's admitted and everything kind of comes to fruition, and then Cade and Crow's relationship growing within this period of time, and it was a really awesome storyline that they told. And then the side story that you have to complete before you do the final mission of, Cade and Crow kind of building this relationship, and then Cade coming to the realization that he can't leave the Pale Heart, and he won't be able to go back to the tower and lead the hunters, so he makes Crow the Vanguard, or the Hunter Vanguard, and that is a very special moment. And if you play as a hunter, you get extra dialogue and extra cool moments, which is, not like unlike Bungie to do that, especially for hunters. Uh, there's definitely dialogue between classes, and depending on things that you have done throughout Destiny and Destiny 2, your dialogue changes too in certain situations, which is cool. But that moment is special. Kind of watching Zavala fall apart and have to like rebuild himself, especially after Tarj sacrifices himself to save Zavala. Uh, you know, before the third act of the campaign, uh, is really cool. And then the Avengers moment at the end, the final mission, it's been worth playing these 10 years and paying attention for these last 10 years to get that moment. I thought that moment was awesome. Everybody was there. Like it was literally an Avengers Endgame level Super Smash Brothers everybody is here moment. Just the Vanguard and Crow are leading, it kind of reminds me of the marketing material for Destiny 2 at the very beginning, when Zavala is standing up on the rock and pointing out to the war zone or whatever, and kind of giving this hype speech, and Cade giving a hype speech. This is Zavala coming back to the right frame of mind and becoming the commander again that and giving this incredible speech, which the speech was incredible. I'm very sad that Lance Reddick did not get to deliver this speech. Although, as I've been playing and as I've been thinking about it, um, Keith David has been cast as Zavala now, and taking over for Lance Reddick after he passed away last year, which was very sad. Keith David, I think if this is the direction they're gonna take Zavala, as like this kind of powerful commander with this passion and this incredible speeches that he's giving now, and I mean, I think Keith David is the only choice for this, right? So the speech was incredible. Him embracing the darkness, he has embraced stasis, and Ikora has embraced Strand, and Cade has the light, and it's so cool. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cut all these out. Maybe we'll see. But then when the camera pans around and you see everybody, and then they just start giving you close-up shots of everybody you've met throughout the entire series from beginning to end. Those are who are left, I should say. You get Amara and Petra, you get Elsie and Anna, you get uh you get Osiris and Saint, you get Saladin is standing with the Cabal and Keitel. There's so many Guardians, and Elixni with Mithrax, and then you have Savathun is there with Lucent Hive, which is weird, right, but also makes sense because the enemy of my enemy is my friend at this moment in the story. So you kind of have to work with Savathun, even though she's, judging by some of the stuff that happens after the campaign, she's really trying to screw you over again. And I think there's going to be some sort of weird showdown between Savathun and Xivu Arath in the Hive episode that's coming up sometime in the next year. So, but then you get to this 12-person event, which they've never done. It's usually 3 or 6 are these events that they do. This is a 12-person event. And not only is it a 12-person event, it is a 12-person event with raid mechanics, and all of the allies are there. All of your allies are there helping you fight against the Witness and his forces and its forces. Saints there with a bubble. You have I always forget his name from Neomuna. The you have Ikora there. Keitel is there with her cabal. I gotta look this up. I gotta look this up because it's bothering me. You have, Nimbus there. Nimbus is the Neomuna character. Jeez, I always forget their name. Sorry. I always forget their name. Nimbus is there surfing around on his weird surfboard, and everyone is there. It's crazy. It's so cool. I took so many screenshots, and there's just this big image of the Witness there. And at the end of the fight, Ghost says he knows what to do, and you harness the light and push the light through Ghost to defeat the Witness with these other players, and Ghost sacrifices himself for you. And it all comes back to the bravery, devotion, sacrifice, death motto that we've been hearing for 10 years, and become legend, and what comes from the light returns to the light. It's all there. And then your character is somewhere within the Pale Heart, this luminous area where you're just begging the traveler to bring Ghost back. And everybody's wondering, well, like, the story very clearly sets up that Ghost is going to sacrifice himself for you. But the question is, how do you keep Ghost around? Because Ghost is not only there's whole mechanics that revolve around Ghost. Like, how are you just going to change that? You can't just swap Ghost out in this scenario. And how are you going to bring Ghost back? Is the traveler going to bring Ghost back? What's going to happen? But as you play through the campaign and you go back and think about it, and some of the conversations Cade has with Crow and Ikora and Zavala, you realize that Cade appears, and Cade wants to be with Sundance, his ghost that died in Forsaken. He wants to, you hear his conversations when he can't leave the traveler because he is made of the light. And so Cade reminds you that you're his favorite, and pushes his light into Ghost to revive Ghost, and Cade disappears. And that was as awesome as the Avengers moment was in Destiny 2. This moment with Cade, the most beloved character in the entire series, Ghost, who's been there since day one. It was the perfect ending for Cade and this light and darkness saga. And once it ties everything up, and then not only does it tie everything up, it sets up everything that comes after it, and it's very cool. The Echoes were playing as of this recording. There's been 1 week of the Vex Echo episode, and so that's been a pretty cool story so far, although it seems just like a longer season, which I hope episodes get more involved than that. But right now, it just seems like a season. You know, you have the activity, you have the storyline. You go back to the helm to do your engram stuff. It's they have changed Nessus a lot, and Failsafe is now aboard the helm, which is neat. But other than that, it's still it feels like a season. Hopefully, it gets more involved in that. But that's kind of what I wanted to say about Destiny, the final shape. Prismatic is awesome, mixing the light and darkness subclasses. There's so much to say, and I don't want to go very much longer on this video because then it just turns into a podcast. But like Prismatic, the way you can mix and match abilities and the aspects you find around the world. This is an awesome way to get people to find aspects. I think this is way better than it has been. I mean, everybody remembers Stasis and how much of a slog that was. And Strand wasn't much better. I still don't have all my Strand fragments, I don't think, because I hated being on Neomuna. I just couldn't stand it. So and then obviously the new enemy faction, the Dread, are really cool, very scary and opposing. The Tormentors are more annoying than ever. The Witness is very scary as a villain, and yeah, the Pale Heart is an awesome location. So if you have been playing since the beginning, this is very, very, very rewarding. If you have only been playing for a little bit, it's still a really fun campaign. I think without the story, if you don't care about the story, the combat encounters are still worth doing. The puzzles and the secrets on the Pale Heart are worth exploring. The loot is awesome. The weapons are awesome. The gear, Titans finally have a cool armor set with an expansion. So check it out. Destiny 2, the final shape. 5 out of 5 from me. Very excited to go back and play more of it. I hope to do more of these videos too, talking about games and everything else. Check them out. Hopefully weekly. We'll figure that out in a bit. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like the YouTube channel, subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, whatever. It's late. I'm tired. Check out the podcast, the Boss Rush podcast. I do a Destiny podcast also called Tower Casual. So if you're into that, check that out too. Appreciate your time. Until next time. Goodbye.